cigarette?
You're going to get me canceled.
No.
This is very racist, this
Is
conversation. Go figure.
Just talking about a type of cigarette that people enjoy?
Just saying, why do black people like Newport so much? And a black person actually getting ready to answer this, it's terrible on all ends.
I don't think it is.
Yo, it's your boy Fadlu. Yo, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys had a good weekend, and shout out to the real ones that always tune in. Believe it or not, Joe Rogan is getting cancelled again. And I mean, Joe gets cancelled about 4 times a year at least. I mean, Joe really doesn't hold back on what he says and what his beliefs are and what he thinks about certain things. And sometimes it offends certain people and they get to trying to cancel Joe. But I think we all know that at this point, Joe's basically uncancelable. I mean, he's the biggest podcast in the world at the moment. But let's get into why people are trying to cancel this man. So a couple of days ago, Joe Rogan had Katt Williams on the podcast, and this was an absolutely amazing podcast. It was so interesting. It was a classic Joe pod. I mean, it's finally time that Joe's had Katt Williams on. It's been so long since people have been wanting Katt on, and since Katt even said that stuff on Shannon's pod. So it's good to see these two guys talk, and the way they were talking was like they have been friends for so many years. It's actually crazy. But you know what surprises me is the fact that you haven't liked the video yet. So please, if you're enjoying this video, smash that like button, and please subscribe to my channel if you're new. 98% of my viewers are not subscribed, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. So please help your boy out. Back to the video. The podcast was going good, and Joe Rogan was doing his classic spiel about the government having too much control, taking away certain things, not allowing you to take certain substances. And in specific, he was talking about LA and how they've banned the flavored nicotine products and things of that nature. And Katt brought up the fact that that law is affecting black people because they have also banned the menthol flavored Newports. And Joe Rogan took the liberty to ask Katt Williams this question.
But they let it also hurt black people in that it counted menthol as a flavor and hurt Newport.
So you can't sell menthol cigarettes in California?
Right. They have their own cigarettes.
Is
they
wild.
have non-menthol Newports. Yeah, it's terrible.
Why do black people like menthol so much? What's that about? It's a totally different type of cigarette.
You're going to get me canceled.
No.
This is very racist, this
Is
conversation, even though neither of us are. Go figure.
Just talking about a type of cigarette that people enjoy?
Just saying, why do black people like Newport so much? And a black person actually getting ready to answer this, it's terrible on all ends.
I don't think it is.
Well, I don't think it is either, because we have a new
It's like if you started asking me about spaghetti. I'm not going to get offended.
And as you saw, that question kind of made Katt Williams a bit nervous, because he knows that this is heading into the territory of cancelable things. And Joe Rogan personally didn't think there was anything wrong with the question. Katt clearly can read when society would possibly get offended by something. I think Katt's just so in the loop in terms of what people are looking out for, especially when it comes to Joe and the past Joe has had in terms of him being accused of being racist, him saying the N-word, all of these things. Katt definitely got a bit nervous and was like, yo, I don't know if me, a black man, should answer this question, or how's this gonna look? And Katt obviously, wasn't on the side of like, yo, this is racist, but he was just saying that to be safe. And he even said afterwards.
And a black person actually getting ready to answer this, it's terrible on all ends.
I don't think it is.
Well, I don't think it is either.
Katt saying Joe asking that question and a black guy answering it is terrible on all ends, and then afterwards saying, no, I don't think it's racist either. Agreeing with Joe kind of shows you like Katt knows that other people would possibly perceive it as racist, possibly the left, and people who have been trying to cancel Joe Rogan would assume and take that as a racist remark. But Katt doesn't really agree with that. He's just playing the devil's advocate in a way, trying, like I said, to play it safe. In my opinion, I personally don't think that this was a racist remark from Joe. I don't understand why so many people on Twitter are pissed and going off at Joe Rogan, calling him a racist, saying that this man has been racist for years and all of this stuff. It doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, Katt Williams brought up the fact that black people like menthol. Like, he brought up the fact that this affects black people because menthol cigarettes are banned. And like, I think a lot of people who's maybe not in the black community or necessarily black themselves would probably be intrigued and probably interested to find out why the black people, I guess, according to Katt Williams, right? Because I'm not from America, so I don't know what the black culture is in America 100%. But according to Katt Williams, they like menthol. So of course, Joe's going to be intrigued to ask this question. I mean, it's just a question. I don't understand how asking a question from genuine interest in something that Katt Williams mentioned can possibly be racist. I understand that nowadays you can't ask a stereotype question for any race, but I mean, if the stereotype is true or if it is actually like factual about something, then why is it deemed racist? Like Joe said, if you ask me why do Italians love pasta so much or why Italians are so loud all the time, I'm not going to get offended because like it's literally true. Like, I'm not going to get mad.
It's like if you started asking me about spaghetti, I'm not going to get offended. If you started asking me about Italian food or why are Italian people so loud, I'm not gonna get offended.
I feel like asking questions that are considered a stereotype question for certain races is only kind of racist if it's a negative connotation to the stereotype. Like if it's something like, oh, Arabs are all terrorists or something like that, right? But if you say like, oh no, why do Arabs love hookah so much? Like that, like a lot of Arab people do love hookah. Like that's just a fact. People also want to say that, why is he assuming that all black people smoke? And I don't think it's any of that. Like the man is literally just asking a question for the people who do smoke that happen to be African American. He's not saying all black people smoke. He's not implying that. Clearly, this is a question for the smokers of that race. And there's nothing really negative around asking why black people love menthol, which again was brought up by Katt Williams himself, who is in the black community and knows exactly what goes on. Joe is an outsider. I think a lot of people need to consider like, this man isn't in the black community and doesn't know why or get it. And later, Katt Williams actually ends up answering the question.
The menthol cigarettes.
Oh, that's right.
And the answer is
good old Katt, always taking a nice, long, deep thought before he answers a question, making sure he says what he's supposed to.
We value strength in product. So there's this whole thing with liquor and malt liquor and the difference between the two, and one is richer and stronger.
The more potent version.
Right. And as a people, we tend to go with those products.
Things that are stronger. That makes sense.
Right. Like before things were called concentrate.
Yeah.
That's what we appreciated.
Katt, we love you over here on this channel. You're an absolute legend and icon. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that Joe had any racist intent behind what he said. You know, Joe was just genuinely curious. And like I said, Katt, who is from the black community, answered the question, claiming that we value strength in product. And this is the man telling you himself, somebody who's in the community, who's grown up, who is of this people, telling you how it is. So is it necessarily racist or is it necessarily a weird racial remark if what he's asking about? And it's just a question. Like, he's not even making a statement of like, menthol people. Black people like menthol. Now he's asking the question. Katt Williams is the person who implied that, who is from the black community. I think people are so desperate to want to cancel Joe for anything. There's so many people that hate the man for literally no reason, just because he's successful. Like, we need to give this man a break sometimes. Like, he's 50-something years, I think he's like 56 years old. If he asks a question that's genuinely out of curiosity, that has no racial undertones or no hate or no thinking another race is less equal to him or his race, like, let's be honest, like, let's stop shooting for the stars and finding what we can find to claim that this man is racist. I was watching this podcast and then I called one of my good friends and immediately I told him about what happened on the pod, because I found it kind of funny how Katt was like, yo, I can't answer this, I'm gonna get cancelled, this is not a good look, another black man answering this question. And then like, he outright said this question's racist, right? But clearly Katt didn't agree with that way of thinking. He was clearly trying to save face for the media, I think, because I literally said to my friend the next day, watch, like, they on Joe Rogan's ass tomorrow. there's going to be, maybe even a couple hours, there's going to be a couple hundred articles out calling Joe racist for this entire thing. And then I go on Google the next day, search it up, and wow, boom, immediate articles claiming Joe's a racist. Katt Williams calls out Joe Rogan for being racist. So I just made this video to clear up the entire situation and bring light to what's actually happened, and not make it look like, this man is asking a racist question. You know, obviously these are my opinions and not fact. I just want to make that very clear. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone who comes back and tunes back into my videos. Join the network if you're new to the channel, and please hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it. For more content like this, I'm probably going to be uploading another one soon, because this podcast had a lot of interesting content to take out of it. So thanks for watching. I've been Fadlu, and peace out.